Yoni pearls, should you be using them? Is it something that you're thinking about, something you've thought about, something you know other people have been using? Maybe you have questions about it. I'm going to discuss sort of the ins and the outs, the ups and the downs about Yoni pearls. Guys, I'm Dr. Jen Caudle. I'm a practicing family physician. I'm an on-air health expert and video creator. I do daily videos on YouTube and Facebook on all sorts of topics. Yoni pearls is what we are talking about today because, of course, it's been in the news for a while, along with a number of other vaginal things, right? So vaginal steaming, vaginal this, vaginal that, Yoni this, Yoni that. But we're focusing on Yoni pearls because I think it's a really interesting concept, but I definitely know that there are things that we all need to keep in mind with them. So first of all, for those of you who don't know, Yoni pearls is this idea of herbs that like a multitude of herbs, different herbs that are wrapped and made for suppository use in the vagina. The idea is, well, many companies have different claims. Many companies have said they call them vaginal detox pearls or maybe herbal tampons. You might have heard that phrase. Sometimes they're called cleansing pearls, vaginal pearls. But once again, the idea with these herbs that are wrapped for suppository use in the vagina is this idea of detoxifying, cleansing, making cleaner, better. And then also, I should also say too, by the way, there are some companies that actually claim that their Yoni pearls help with conditions like endometriosis, PCOS, ovarian cysts, and other things. Some even say it will help keep your vagina tight. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Get rid of odor. Vaginal tightness doesn't sound bad to me, and getting rid of odor doesn't sound bad to me either, but we're going to talk about whether that's actually true or not. And then the last thing I also wanted to mention too, because I think this is important to cover the range of what many companies are saying these pearls do, is that they can, again, pull out toxins, bad bacteria. I've seen some companies say that they help with blood clots, dead cells, mucus, in terms of pulling that out of the vagina. Okay, so that's what they are. That's what many companies claim that their Yoni pearls do. So let's sort of break it down and talk about what is and what is not, and if this could or may not be right for you, okay? First of all is our vagina is an amazing thing. Can we just agree on that? The fact that our vagina is pretty amazing. I've always said this too. Our vagina actually is self-cleaning, which is awesome. The good thing is our bodies were made, in terms of the vagina in particular, in that, look, I mean, yes, we need to bathe, don't get me wrong, but sort of the inner aspects of the vagina, it's self-cleaning. It's like a self-cleaning oven, so to speak. I've used that in some of my other videos about vaginal steaming. By the way, take a peek at those. Let me know what you think about them. I'll make sure I put them in the comments in the description of this video, okay? So that's the first thing I want to say, is that your vagina actually is self-cleaning, okay? You don't actually really need to stick suppositories and stuff up there to keep it clean. That's good news. This is the thing though, I know that we're often looking for natural things. In fact, look, I want to do things as naturally as possible too. And many of my patients say to me, Dr. Caudle, why would I take a medication when I can handle something naturally? And you know what? I don't disagree with that. But we have to remember that natural does not always mean better, and natural does not always mean safer. Okay. I think sometimes we think that natural means it must be better, it must be safer, but natural can actually be harmful. Natural can actually be dangerous. Natural could actually be, say, not helpful to us. So we have to keep that in mind, and I actually think that that really sort of plays a role when we talk about Yoni pearls. I understand the concept of Yoni pearls, and I get it, and I understand why we might think that it's potentially a good thing. But here are some things to keep in mind. First of all, oh, and a lot of people talk about Big Pharma. Let me talk about Big Pharma for a second. A lot of people will write in my comments, they'll say, oh, she's paid by Big Pharma, she's a pharma shill and this and that. I'm not. But let me tell you something. One thing I often say, especially when it comes to natural things, is you can bet your bottom dollar that if pharmaceutical companies thought things like Yoni pearls were something that they could make money off of, that would be a good thing, or that doctors thought it would be a good thing, you can pretty much bet that it would have been made a prescription. It would have been something that's made by pharmaceutical companies, approved by the FDA, and doctors would be writing prescriptions for it. You don't have to believe me. I want to give you food for thought to sort of take away and think about. But think about this, right? Even natural things. If it really worked the way many companies are saying and did all of these things, it would seem to me that pharmaceutical companies want to make money off of this. And doctors perhaps would be prescribing these medications. If that existed, it does not to my knowledge. So please keep that in mind. Now let's talk about like, actually does it work, this detoxifying, et cetera, et cetera. And I already told you that the vagina is self-cleaning, so we don't have to worry about sticking things up in it to clean it, because, you know, our vagina sort of does that thing. My big concern with Yoni Pearls, this concept of wrapped herbs in a suppository form that's inserted, I have a lot of concerns about how it actually potentially may be dangerous or harmful to the vagina. Remember, anything that's sort of in our vagina can change the natural flora, which means sort of change and disrupt the environment that our vagina has been living in and what it's accustomed to and what it should be in. Any disruption in that flora or in that environment can predispose us to infections, whether it's yeast infections or bacterial infections, could predispose us to odor, right? So while Yoni Pearls by some might be used to get rid of odor, it actually could potentially cause odor because of this disruption. Also, you know, I talked about infections, talked about odor, disrupting the pH, cause irritation. I am actually really concerned about what Yoni Pearls could actually be doing to the inside of the vagina. Now, look, I'm not a Yoni Pearl hater. It's not like I'm picking out Yoni Pearls and saying, oh, blah, blah. This is anything that's like in the vagina that's not supposed to be there, right? And remember, oftentimes these Yoni Pearls are recommended to be kept in there for multiple hours and hours and hours and hours. Remember, we don't even recommend people keeping tampons in for long periods of time. Remember that. We don't want anything in there like for a long period of time. And I certainly don't want herbs. The other thing about herbs is, you know, look, I don't know how that's necessarily going to interact with your vagina. What if you have an allergic reaction to something? Okay. What if something else happens? But the bigger thing is what I just mentioned, which is I'm concerned about the fact that something is in there, herbs, nonetheless, disrupting the flora, your pH, your natural good bacteria, disrupting what is naturally happening that's right and good and causing problems. Now, the other thing you might be asking is, okay, well, what about my PCOS, my endometriosis, my this condition, ovarian cysts, etc., that I want to solve, that I want to treat, that I want to deal with as naturally as possible? You know what? I hear you. I get it. But the best way to handle these conditions really is to talk with your doctor. Okay, come up with a plan with your doctor about how to approach these issues and to do it in a natural way as possible, if possible, in conjunction with your doctor. My feeling is that Yoni Pearls are not it. And I should also say that we don't have a lot of evidence, if any, that Yoni Pearls does any of this stuff, by the way. It is of my opinion that Yoni Pearls very likely does not help with these things and in fact may cause harm. The other thing I want to say, and probably one of the last things, is that, you know, look, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching, you know, I think in this society we're often thought to believe our vaginas should always smell like a flower, and we have these notions of what being a woman or a vagina, what a vagina should be like, what it should smell like, what it should look like, how tight it should be. But the truth of the matter is we are all individuals. And thank goodness for that. I mean, I don't want us to be shamed about our vagina. I don't want us to be shamed about vaginal odor because, you know what, we're human. And that happens. And it's not necessarily bad. Remember, it's important to maintain good hygiene. I'm not saying don't bathe. I'm saying keep up with your pap smears and your GYN care and things like that. But what I'm saying is I just don't want us to think that there is something innately wrong with our vagina that needs to be fixed. And I'm not okay with companies implying that there's something that needs to be fixed when oftentimes that's not the case. Now, we're all created differently, and if you have something going on with your vagina, right, there is an issue that needs to be fixed, which all of us have had from time to time. That's when you see your doctor, because that's what we should be helping you with. So in terms of Yoni Pearls, I get the concept, but I don't buy it. And do I recommend it for my patients? No. As I've said before, I'm concerned they could cause more harm than good. But should you be interested in trying them, what I recommend you do is talk to your doctor first. Okay, talk to your doctor about your situation and what you're thinking, how you're feeling, and bring this up with them if you're interested. Guys, I'm Dr. Jen. Let me know what you think about this video. Let me know if you've tried Yoni Pearls or things like that. I want to know. Check out my other videos on vaginal steaming, etc. If you have not liked and followed my page on Facebook, please do. On YouTube, please subscribe to my channel. Click the little bell for updates as well. Check out my website at drjencaudle.com for lots of things, my free health newsletter and all sorts of other stuff. All right, guys. Love y'all. Talk to you soon.